Avatar is on track to make $1.5 billion at the box office, and for any other franchise, that would be phenomenal. But for James Cameron and Pandora, that's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars less than the other two films. So, will Fire and Ash make a profit at the box office, and how long might it be until Avatar 4? Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again. What a joy, what a pleasure as we endeavor to explain entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do around here, and we love it. Do it with a zeal that even the Holly Weirds can feel. Now folks, we're looking at the Hollywood Reporter, their charts right now for the box office. It says a long road to recovery. Folks, you can help us with the recovery right here on the channel. We don't need one of those, but we need your likes. And if you see a hype, time is ripe to hit the hype. It's time to hit the hype for the box office because they need it. Look at this, folks. 2025, I was wrong. Your friendly neighborhood pro was wrong. I thought we were going to get about to a tie. But 2025 barely defeated 2024 in terms of how much money it made at the box office. $8.9 billion at the box office. That's domestic. $8.9 billion at domestic, barely beating 2024's 8.7. All of this is atrociously bad, by the way. Failing to match 2023, which was supposed to be the first sign of the recovery. Now, to understand how bad things are at the box office, then I'll tell you why this Avatar thing matters so much. If you go down before the pandemic, you're going to notice that the box office was rather predictable. It was going to make more than $11 billion. And that was, since 2016, it had been doing that. 2015, actually. And that's pretty good, right? We like predictability. It gives those who are in the business of making movies something to hold on to. I know what I can expect. And given that inflation was not out of control, they had a pretty good control on how much money was going in and out of movies. Now, however, you all know that the cost of making movies has risen dramatically due to inflation. The average ticket price has also gone up dramatically. And so, in fact, these numbers are misleading. 2025, 2024, 2023, they're running on ticket prices that are 30-40% higher than pre-pandemic, and yet they're making far less. That means cultural irrelevancy is out the door. But Avatar was supposed to come in, Fire and Ash, and set things straight, fix things up for 2025. 3F by Space has this. We've never gone to this article or this website before, but I love this article. So Robert Prentice, this one's for you, buddy. You did a fantastic job writing this. Avatar Fire and Ash is on track to join an elite list of films that surpassed $1 billion at the box office. And it did so before completing its third weekend, just 15 days into its theatrical run. James Cameron's third Avatar installment earned $14 million on Friday. Got it? Okay. But how much is it going to make? How much is it going to make? Well, let's find out. Sources on the budget of the third film are conflicted about the actual figures. Some say 350, 400. That's okay. We'll explain that in just a minute. Here's what you need to see, folks, right here. And by the way, go read the whole article. We'll get these last two paragraphs. With Avatar Fire and Ash expected to be in the $1.5 to $1.7 billion range. Wait a minute, folks. That just so happens to be exactly where I predicted this film would land. How about that? And it's not hard to figure that out. All we had to do was determine what's the enthusiasm for the film and how is it performing the first weekend versus the other films, and then strip out the holidays. And once we did that, the magic went away, and you could say, okay, I know where this is going to be. And here it is, $1.5 to $1.7 billion. That means the film will have the same return as many other franchises that continue to make sequels in the post-pandemic environment. And this number would also put the movie in a profitable territory. Exactly right on all this. The Way of Water and Fire and Ash were filmed at the same time, so how much of the overhead and budget is being reported twice versus being stacked is not known. It says, but even if we stack it and say $800 million budget for both films, which, kudos, this is why we're reading this article. That's exactly right. It is only fair that we do the production and the marketing combined together. And that's right. It probably is. I'm not going to go $800 million because I think $400 million for marketing is excessive. I don't think they had that. But I'm going to go $600 million because I think $200 million in marketing is right. And it might be as high as $250 on the marketing. $400 million for production, $200 to $250 for marketing, gets you to $600 million, which means, what was the break even? $1.2 billion. The expected is 1.5 to 1.7 on the take home, right? With some of that coming from China, which means that you don't take home much. I'm going to talk about that in just a second too. So here's the thing about, you're wondering, are we going to get another Avatar? Are we going to do, does it keep going? Is this a success? And then you got other people who say, you guys are a bunch of hate click chasing nonsensers because you say Avatar is flopping, it's crashing, it's collapsing, and you never admit that it's making over $1 billion. Any other franchise would love to have this. Well, what if I told you that both of those are true simultaneously? It is true that almost any other franchise would love to have these numbers. It is also true that Avatar is an exceedingly expensive franchise and that it needs a lot more money than most of the other guys to make money. So, if I'm Avatar, if I'm behind the franchise of Avatar, if I'm Disney, if I'm James Cameron, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, we're going to make about $300 million in profit, maybe, right, above what we spend on this thing. Taxes are going to be taken out of that. So we're gonna make slightly more because remember 1.2 is the break even, 1.5 is what they're probably gonna make. So 300 million. Okay. Here's the question though: the prior two films easily made over $2 billion. This one's dropping something like $800 to $1 billion. Can we afford it if we release Avatar 4 and it does the same thing? This is what so many of the people out there don't get. This is what so many of the talking heads are not understanding. That's why you come to this channel. Because it's not about how much this one made. It's about how much is the next one going to make. And right now, the reason that there are cold feet to revisit Pandora anytime soon is because do we want to lose another billion? Like, can we afford that? So let's say the next one doesn't make 1.5 or 1.7. Let's say it makes 500 or 700 million. And you know what? Let's half it, okay? Because let's do what the investors are doing right now. They're running the numbers. The actuaries are pondering this. It can't be that bad, right? Okay, just it drops another 50% of what it dropped this time. Oh, okay, well, in that case, we're going to be at $1 billion or 900 million, right? Reasonable for Avatar 4, right? Theaters are getting old. These things take 4 years to make. AI is going to be out there. But, we'll make 900 million to $1 billion. Well, the problem is this one combined with another film, and there's no way they're going to greenlight two at the same time again. This film, combined with another one, shared shooting, cost the studio $1.2 billion to get to break even, right? $600 million to make, 1.2 to get to break even because of reasons that if you've watched the channel, you understand. Taxes, Uncle Sam, and Lord knows if you go to China, you're bringing nothing back. Well, that means that if they make another one and it drops the same amount that this one dropped from the last ones, or even half as badly, they're going to lose money. And that puts this franchise into risky territory, even though it can go out right now looking like a winner. Now, I want to bring this up because I talked about it, and you need to understand this. China is propping up, and we talked about this for the noontime video. I don't know why it's not doing well. Nobody is seeing the noontime video here on the channel. I don't know. YouTube going to do YouTube things. But Trevor Denning says Zootopia 2 becomes Disney Animation's highest grossing film ever. Huzzah and hurrah for Disney, right? And I said this could happen. I said it could get the Inside Out 2 effect going on. But here's where I didn't see any of this happening I didn't think it would happen in China. I had no idea that China was going to love this the way they have. That's because I'm not in China. And unless you're in China, you really can't get a feel for what's going on inside China because they're on their own internet. They're on their own web. And the government over there monitors them in ways that alters their behavior. So I can't tell you why they love this film so much. I don't speak Chinese. I can't sit there and watch it in Mandarin and see what the inside jokes are that don't exist in English. What I can tell you is, yes, Disney made a lot of money supposedly in China off this thing. The problem is, China sends almost no money back to the companies that make the films and release them in China. About 20%. So to give you some idea of how this works, if you make $1 billion in the United States of America, if you're a movie distributor, you're bringing about $550 million back to you, okay? And the reason you do that is because you have to split with the theaters and you have to split with Uncle Sam. So about $550 million of the billion comes back. However, if you go to China and you make $1 billion, it looks great on the headlines. And Avatar right now is getting to enjoy the same sort of thing. Great in the headlines. But if you make $1 billion in China, how much actually comes back to your bank account? Maybe 180 million, maybe 200 million. That's how badly it goes in China. Now, again, if I'm looking at, do we make another Avatar movie? If I'm Disney, if I'm James Cameron, given that this is so dependent on international support, it's 2-to-1, 3-to-1 support internationally. This becomes more difficult to support knowing that the places I'm going have tremendously small margins in comparison to the United States, which is quite generous in how much the distributors receive back. Bottom line, I think it's going to be some time before you see Avatar 4. I don't think they're going to be in a rush to make more. I think that for James Cameron and for Disney, this is a chance for them to get the headlines, get the win, make a little bit of money, and get out of there. And for Disney, frankly, and I save this for the end, they'll get almost nothing out of this movie. And that's something you can tell your friends that they won't know. Because it turns out James Cameron has a deal in his contract where this thing's making $300 million, right? Profit at the end of the day, he's getting the majority of it. Disney barely gets anything. So Disney can't be really excited about getting another shot at it either. Unless James wants to pony up a new contract. That's just the way it goes in Hollywood. And now you know the real way things are working. Back to it, though, one last time. The box office. Why does all this matter? Well, folks, because Hollywood right now desperately looking for what is the franchise that's going to come in and save them. They have to get back to at least 2019 levels. Not in ticket sales, because matching this monetarily doesn't even come close on ticket sales because of that inflated movie ticket price. But they got to get there at least in monetary value. Some way, somehow. And right now, that's looking harder and harder. All right, folks, if you like this video, click the like button, drop a comment, and share this out to all your friends, your neighbors, even those who don't like you. They might make them better people for you in the end. Folks, we'll see you real soon. Thanks for being a friend. Come back. We'll spend time with you. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, you see, I wanted to get some inside scoops on Disney and their different corporations, if you know what I mean. So I figured by looking into this fistbowl and sucking it randomly with my own energy that I pay for, you paid for, I could do the whole experience where you can be a master and spy on your targets.
You're an idiot. If you want to get the inside scoop on Disney or even other media organizations, you should check out thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel. That'd be way easier, more accurate, and less dumb.
Are you saying I won't get accurate information this way?
No, you can't.
Who'd have think?